Well, that was interesting. A big Dairy Queen across the street. Holy crap. Looks like a ski place. Ski lodge. So, Hermitage and Mercer, never been to each one, as far as I know. Unless my parents took me against my will when I was young. Well, that guy pulled out in front of me. There was no traffic. Now there's traffic everywhere. I just don't feel like gunning it. So I walk up this Golden Corral. Guy, he said, "Are you military?" I said, "Yeah." Like maybe he saw my license. He said they have a special. He points at a sign, says they're having a special. Doesn't say what time, and it's the 14th of November. And wouldn't that be freaking timing? The day I decide to go there, but really don't want a free meal. And the guy at the register said at 4 o'clock. I should have offered to pay for the other guy. Like $13 for lunch with a drink or something. So they got like military music playing in here or whatever. It's kind of funny. Food's not bad. It's actually pretty good. But yeah, you can see, there's people that are like professionals. And it could get pretty scary in there. So I said, hey, it was after, 1:30, I figured business would be waning, but I guess that's when they come out, when the regular crowd's not there. So I'm like one of those big people, but I don't eat as much as they do. I can't. I eat too much for my, I got to drop. So, yeah, the funny story of that guy pulling out in front of me between the Nissan dealer and there, the union guy in the Conrail said, hey, Dave, 2 things you're going to notice about Pennsylvania. Yield signs mean stop, and stop signs mean yield. I said, what do you mean? He says, they go through stop signs all the time here in Pennsylvania. But if you try to yield with them on the freeway, you'll stop the whole traffic. Like, what the hell are you doing? And it was true. It's like the highway stuff's improved a little bit since the 90s, but it's like, oh my God. And they said, yeah, the only flat spot in Pennsylvania was where Conway Yards was, so they built some hills to hump trains and reclassify them there. Well, I guess we're looking for I-80 West. 62 goes right up my street, but that's business. They got all kinds of food there. Nothing real expensive. Maybe dinner, they have all the shrimp and steak and stuff. I had like a beef stew thing that was pretty good. Mashed potatoes, gravy. A piece of breast fried chicken. It's just right. Not the greatest, not the worst. Actually pretty good. Look, there's First National Bank, Pennsylvania. That's who owns my car. And, yeah, they're on the right side, too, right there. They're everywhere. So we're at 66%, 150-mile range. Just went 106 miles since hitting the Chargers at Stark College yesterday. Can't beat that. So there's the non-business 62. But heck, I probably won't be home till 5, 6 o'clock. So unlike Route 66, 62 has never been replaced. You can still take the whole distance of that from Niagara Falls to El Paso. And as well, you'd have to have funding or to do all that for all the food, fuel, and lodging stops. Pretty cool. If that charge didn't cost anything, then the $13 covers And they tipped the lady pretty good for not having a free Veterans Day meal. It says it starts at 4. It's almost like a WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. Yeah? That's probably what it is. Oh my God. Are we in the correct lane? So we're looking for 80. Wow, there's so many signs to choose from. Hermitage. What a busy little place. I'm not sure what they do up here for industry or anything. I've never bought staples at Staples. So that range is, it's with the heat on and everything, so. Excuse me. I think free electric, there's nothing like that, and it was delivering, 40-some kilowatts an hour. We did 20 minutes and looked around in cars. I like new cars. All the features they give you nowadays, you know, you get your money's worth. Love them. Yeah, go to maps on Android Auto, and we should need a lady to tell us which way to go, unless the plates turn into Kentucky or Maryland or something for locals. So yeah, $13 is all right. They got all kinds of food there. Their desserts, didn't really appeal to me. So you got the little tiny, it's like a kiddie cone with the soft serves. That was just right. Me and the wife, we aren't dessert eaters when we go out and eat. And if you looked at me, you figure that's all I eat, but I don't. So that's strange. I used to eat everything and anything and be skinny as can be. Oh, I love the house way up there on the hill. It's nice. If you want to overlook this road, I guess. So yeah, this is so much different than out west where you can see for miles. I mean, right now I could see for a couple miles, but out there you can see forever. I imagine, if you live where we are in Salem, you could see past Cleveland. That's what it was like where we lived. You just go over the butte or the hill behind our house, and you could see 70, 80 miles in the distance to where the mountain range from the San Andreas met with the one going east and west, where you see Willow Springs and stuff that's on Ford versus Ferrari or Jay Leno's garage. There's a range that goes just north of there, and they meet up, and the pass is what's depicted in the movie Psycho. And you're pretty closed in here. $280. Wow, all the lawn equipment. Huh. Phone's picking up more texts or whatever. It's just junk mail again. Unless it's my son or something. I don't answer this. But, well, that's an interesting Cono Lodge. Look at that. On the right. I kind of like the way it steps up the hill there. Unique. The golf course open to the public. Well, if it wasn't for hunting, it'd be a good day to walk in the woods and stuff. So here we go. Keep an eye on stuff. 760 to 80 Newcastle. Exit only. And then there's 760 to the right, north. So I guess 760 to Little Four-Laner. Huh. So many choices. There's like two old couples that came in, and they didn't know where they wanted to sit. They were blocking me from getting back to my table, and you're just like, you want to say something, just pick one. And they walked all the way over to the other side, and this poor lady with the cane had to follow them over there. I was like, oh. So it's probably one of those where they go right through. Ohio people stop at. Well, that was interesting. I kind of like to find new places. That's the best thing about this little car compared to that humongous van I've been driving around in. So I guess we move over here. Volkswagen convertible merging behind me. Exit 1A. Huh. So yeah, the wife took me to Golden Corral. God, dude. And I was just with her for directions and stuff, so laying down back of the car so she wouldn't get lost, I guess. It was pretty sick. It was pretty much when you're up and around like that, you felt like somebody just hit you in the back of the neck with a baseball bat and you're just fighting not to pass out. Basically what most of that 11 years was when you weren't having seizures and migraines. Well, I think we'll use cruise control. I think cruise control puts the car in a different driving mode. And that's what changes the regeneration or something, and sometimes it knocks down your range. We don't have to stop Electrify America or anything. We really wouldn't have to if we didn't hit the Nissan dealer. But you know, it's there and it might be free, and it's an experience. Oh, let's see. We'll set her at 65. So that's the only electric car. Oh, I did mean to hit the Sheets dealer on the way out, and I forgot all about it because there was Tesla chargers there, and that just slipped my mind. No biggie. Kind of a tangled, twisted mess just to get to that road. It's just a mangle of road conversions there. And not going fast enough. When trucks pass trucks, and then the cars will build up trying to, and that's what I avoid when it gets like that. Just hang back and wait for it all to clear. I'm in a hurry. Always quicker than walking. Say I've done the LA rat race and the Seattle rat race, so I can hang with the best of them, but it's better just to relax. So we're going to hit resume. If we have to, we'll go below 65. So mile 1, since it's a rest area on the left, it's Pennsylvania. And we're headed to 0 in the border. Sad if I would have went car hunting, looking at cars or stuff too much, driving that big van around. Now this thing's just nice to drive. So they don't. He said the dealer or the salesman that sold that pending sale on the Chevy Bolt UV probably got the keys. So at least he was nicer than the one from Cochran down in, I think, Zele and Oakville or something. As I hit the little charging door and the guy went ape crap on me. I'm like, oh, if I do buy a car, I'm not coming back to you. Here we go. Huh. Maybe she don't say welcome to Ohio if you don't have a route picked out. So I got that out of the way. Guy, can I take your name and number in case the sale doesn't go through? I'm like, oh, jeez. I just wanted to test drive and sit in it and see what it was like. And then maybe think about it over the winter. It's like I said, they're trying to kill the quick charging port on this car. But all around Salem, they're still adding the darn things in. When they're going to turn the ones on at the Ultium plant and the advanced dermatology. Who knows? They've been sitting there all summer. So what do you guys think about that Wings Over Dallas air crash that happened on Saturday? My YouTube thing was flooded with things. Oh, here's that bridge that's missing that I talked about going to Presque Isle last month. Maybe I'll do a Google Earth search. This looks like this bridge here probably replaced it. Might be interesting to look down and see what was there. And your gas door's ajar, and it's on the wrong side. There's 62 once again, and 7. So this air show, and it just looks sloppy the way the planes are flying around. People talking like, oh, you know, this is just the people in the planes were killed. I said they were flying out of the zone. There were shopping malls and people had videos from McDonald's. They could have killed a lot of people. I said at least when I flew, you know, paid money to fly at air shows, it was 40 years after the planes were made. And you probably still had pilots from World War II that, you know, knew them things intimately. And now you got metal fatigue, and there was nothing wrong with the planes. It's just how it's like he missed the B-17, or maybe something went wrong with this, being able to steer clear of it or something. Yeah, off with the cruise. So I don't know what's going on, but first they said P61, and then they said P63. That's the larger version of the Cobra, Bell Air Cobra. And they didn't use those domestically. They shipped a lot to Russia. So the engine, I think, sits behind the pilot, and there's a drive shaft that runs between his legs to run the propeller. So it looks like it was a pretty cool, balanced plane. But he hit the B-17 right behind the wing and the aft fuselage or whatever, and just split it. And I guess there was 5 people on the B-17, and then the single pilot on the King Cobra. Because I've never seen a King Cobra fly or an Air Cobra. I think they have one each down at the Air Force Museum. It's pretty interesting. But, you know, I watched those air shows when I was a kid, and they do the little... I swear it's the same damn thing. The freaking B-17 comes over with one wheel down, puts out a little smoke stream like they're wounded, and it's the same damn thing I saw back in the 70s. But, just looked haphazardly. And those air shows need to be at an airport where the spectators are on one side and there's nothing on the other side, and that's where they do their flying. Or out, Lake Erie or something like that. Something where there's nobody if something happens when they go down that's going to get hurt, like that place. So many of those planes, like at museums and stuff, they were too late for the war. That's how they stayed in good shape and stuff. Gee, really, those things are what, 70? It can be 75 to 80 years old now? It's like, wow. But yeah, that could have happened where they did a flyby where the spectators were and he was coming the other way, could have knocked everything to the spectators. So they really better get their act together on that stuff. The guy in charge is that, oh, everybody's well trained and all the planes are in good shape. And you're like, well, maybe you're not the guy that needs to be in charge of all that then. Because everything was perfect here, everything was perfect there. Something doesn't make sense. But that was just sad, and it was what, the 12th, the day after Veterans Day. That's the last thing you need to have your kids watch or something. You take them out for a day. That's just traumatic for anybody. Now, we were looking up something. I was looking at something in Ukraine years ago, and I came across an air show, and they have an accident on there. It's just completely horrific with military planes just wiping out men, women, and children. You're like, this stuff ain't worth it. Oh, Belmont Avenue. Oh, crap. Well, we got to do a 7-Eleven run. My brain just reminded me the reason we come up here today is because we got to renew Sam's Club. Otherwise, you're going to take it out of my Sam's Club charge card, and that's been paid off for some time. We don't want a charge card with charges on it. So that shouldn't take long. I really don't need much of anything from there. But if I don't stop there, then and I can't do it at home, then it's going to come out tomorrow. Just remember that in the nick of time. Just the right kind of day for traveling. There's no rain, no snow, and no sunshine. It's easy on the eyes, easy on the car. We'll check the consumption when we get down toward this Gypsy Lane that goes to the old my VA appointments. Not used to coming in the other direction. So, over to the left. So I was thinking about canceling Amazon Prime and Sam's. I went going through all the stuff I get at Sam's, like, wow, I stopped buying a few things there that they stopped carrying, but wow, I stopped buying quite a few things there. And we pay the extra during COVID so they either delivered or you'd go there and your buggy was ready. And we did Amazon Prime during COVID too. Yeah, so there's the exit for the VA clinic, the old one. You can just go down the street on Belmont a little bit and you run into it. But I do a 193 from the 680 now. Haven't seen many electric cars on the freeway today, but I've seen a few off the freeway. So, what is the hurry? Is there something that interesting around here somewhere? They're driving like maniacs. Usually pretty easy going on here to and from the VA clinic. So smooth and cool. And I guess when you drive on stuff like that too, your range of gas miles go up because of the rolling resistance. Fast and Furious mobile move over. It's 50 is the speed limit. Oh boy, we had a collapse here. We're sitting on a brake rotor, Nissan Pathfinder or something. So it's 50 here, and we're doing 50. So I think we get off the next exit now when we go to VA and do the 193, and then there's just a little 2-lane road that goes up right across the street. It's like perfect. So what is everybody in a hurry for? It's not like they're doing stuff besides watching TV at night. It says Hondas look vans. Some of them look like hearses, like that one. So with their fruit flaggers. Mill Creek Park. We were just, we did a little fall tour through there. There's a video. If you get bored and want to watch it. Wow, that's really some angry driving going on here today. Pretty normal. Not sure what the hurry is. So Golden Corral's got a free dinner for veterans at 4 p.m. And I end up going there today after, weekend after Veterans Day. That was pretty funny. Actually, lunch is cheaper than dinner, so I'm not sure why they wouldn't do it for lunch. And there was some veterans in there dressed to get their free food. And they came too early. So I've done it a couple times before. I'm just not comfortable doing it anymore. The coincidence is just strange. The only second time I've ever been there. I was hoping they had shrimp. Avenue is what we're going to end up on from the south after we exit 224 and come back this way. Birds up on the wire there. Wonder if they're going south for the winter. Just recharging. There's the Hyundai Kona gas version.